Hey, 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 happy holidays. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, amazingly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So welcome aboard. Tonight is Tuesday, November 29th, 2022. This is live stream 857. This is your first time hanging out with us. Let me point out, super casual around here. We just hang out talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news and then take a first look at a tabletop game. And we are in the midst of Free League Publishing Week. So tonight, we are going to take a first look at the One Ring, Ruins of the Lost Realm, as I mentioned, from Free League Publishing. And we're going to dive on into the latest supplement for the One Ring second edition in just a bit. Should also mention, if you're not overly familiar with the stream, we do tackle the tabletop gaming news first. So if you are tuning in because you want to get a peek at the Ruins of the Lost Realm, kick back, relax, put your feet up. It'd be probably about 35 minutes or so before we jump on into that. So pamper yourself, be good to yourself, enjoy, kick back. Now, if you happen to be watching this 30 minutes or more after the stream ends, well, there will be timestamps. So if you want to jump ahead and pass by the news, although we've got some cool news tonight, as we do every night on the show, you can jump past. I get it. I understand. Patience is a virtue. I get it. Not everybody has it. So you will find the timestamps in the show notes, or depending on the device you happen to be watching this on, those timestamps might be right there in the timeline of the video, right in front of your very own peepers. So you can use that as well. So, should also point out, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you won't find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Lastly, this is a live stream, so that means there is chat available, not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. Plus, you have to be a subscriber to the channel for at least 48 hours before you can take part in chat. Another way that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you want to say howdy, maybe you've got a question, a comment, possibly want to get a closer look at something involving the One Ring, ruins of the Lost Realm. I was like, is it the, or is it just, no, it's just ruins. I don't know why I was trying to throw a the in there, or the, however you want to pronounce that. Anyway, maybe you have something you want to get a closer look at with a supplement. Let me know in chat. I will do my best to respond. So first out the gate tonight is the Motor City Madman. That's right. The Madman is with us. He is one of our chat moderators, as is Mr. Eddie T, who has chimed in. 245 Trioxin is with us. Christopher Rush is joining us live. Yes, it has been a while since we've seen Christopher. Rapscallion J, who, if you were watching last night, We know his secret identity. Stray Kismet is with us, as is Russell Higgins, our friend from Taiwan, who I always mispronounce their name. Howdy, howdy. Maybe I'll just say our Taiwanese fan, Kathy Evans, Kevin R. Smith, and Coco B round out who we've got hanging out in chat right now. So chat is off and running. Let's jump on into the news because now in stores from Days of Wonder is Heat, Pedal to the Metal. Here's the latest about the game. The countdown begins and sudden deep roars cut through the air as all the cars leap away from their starting lines. The Grand Prix is underway. Dust and wind rush past your helmet as you enter the first corner. Pushing your engine to the limit, you almost spin out, but tightening your grip on the steering wheel, you slide through the corner apex, still in first. You've got this. To stay at the front of the pack, you'll need to push your car to limit. Will your car endure the long straightaways, or will your engine fail in the last curve because you've taken too much heat? Based on simple and intuitive hand management, Heat, Pedal to the Metal. I don't know, I just have to say it like that. Puts you in the driver's seat of intense car races. You are jockeying for position to cross the finish line first, while managing your car's speed if you don't want to overheat. Experience the thrill of a single race or use the championship system to play a whole season in one game night, customizing your car before each race to claim the top spots on the podium. Add legendary automated drivers with the Legends module so you can play solo or add them as additional opponents in multiplayer games. Heat, Pedal to the Metal is for 1 to 6 players, ages 10 and up, plays in around 60 minutes per race, and does carry an MSRP of $74.99. Good to see a new IP arrive from Days of Wonder because pretty good company and they make nice family light gateway sort of games. This looks like this might have a little more heft than, say, Ticket to Ride. But for years, it was sort of like, well, okay, so Days of Wonder every once in a while would release something new for Memoir 44, maybe Small World, usually something for Ticket to Ride, but very rarely do we see a brand new game emerge. Nice to see that is the case here, and actually looks like a pretty cool game as well. So Christopher points out, agreed, this is cool, especially in that they looked at a way to do solo play also. So MC is with us in chat, and then they left. Said, hey, yeah, hey guys. Then they left to go have a smoke. I don't know. Might be a little too much information for us there. I'm a teasing. Now up on Kickstarter is Shake That City from AEG. Here's what I know. Welcome, city planners. Design the best city block using patterns from the new and exciting Cube Shaker. You'll place a mix of tiles to help grow the thriving city. The best design wins the game. Shake That City is a family puzzly tile laying game. Why does that not? This doesn't seem structured correctly. Shouldn't it be Shake That City is a puzzly tile laying family game for 1 to 4 players? I mean, that just sounds better to me. That plays in under an hour. The game is played over a series of rounds. The active player shakes the cube shaker and presses its slider to reveal a 3x3 pattern based on which they need to place the corresponding building tiles of a single color of their choice on their board. The building tiles correspond to roads, factories, shops, parks, and of course, homes. The other players then pick any building color other than the one the active player picked. Then place matching colored tiles in the matching pattern on their board. Players earn points for tile placement combinations and for the completed bonus point tiles, which are around the edge of their board. Roads want to connect to the edge of the board. Factories want to be next to other factories and roads. Homes want to be placed in clusters that are as small as possible, the smallest being a single tile, so long as they're not next to a factory. Parks want to be next to homes and factories. Shops score increasingly more the closer they're placed to the city center, but if they're not placed on an edge, they need to be adjacent to a road connected to the board's edge in order to score. Without road access, you'll have no way to sell your products. At game's end, players earn points for tile placement combinations and for the completed bonus point tiles along the edge of their board. I would normally share a Kickstarter video with you, but I've got a video review of Shake That City. So if you're interested in learning more about this game, you certainly can check out my review. Although I will point out, at least as of this afternoon when this Kickstarter launched, my review wasn't included on their Kickstarter page. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we wrap up the news. Shake That City is for 1 to 4 players ages 10 and up, plays around 20 to 40 minutes. This Kickstarter just launched today. It did fund today, funded within the first couple of hours. You can reserve a copy of the game for $29 as your pledge through December 15th. Expected delivery is March of next year. You heard me right. It's right around the corner because, in essence, this game is done. It's good to go. There's some tweaks to the rule books, but not much else changing in the game. And I should point out, when it starts arriving in stores next year, early next year, it will carry an MSRP of $39 at the very least. So if you are interested in Shake That City, by all means, check out my review video. And if you are interested, jump on board because you'll save at least $10 off of the retail price. On to some role-playing game news. Thanksgiving brought a new bundle of holding featuring a selection of indie role-playing games. And I've got the deets on the deal. Adventura. In time for the American Thanksgiving holiday, we present this Cornucopia 2022 bundle, our 10th annual offer of top quality tabletop role-playing game ebooks for just $17.95. You'll get all 3 complete games in the starter collection, which have a retail value of $70, as DRM-free PDFs, including Kevin, Worlds Without Number Crawford's historical role-playing game, Wolves of God. We'll be talking a little bit about Kevin Crawford in just a few more minutes. The family saga of restaurant management and hopping vampires, Jiangxi, Blood in the Banquet Hall, from Wet Ink Games, and J Dragon's peaceful pastoral game of animal travelers, Wander Home. And if you pay more than the threshold price of $35.83, as of today, we know those threshold prices change by a few pennies, you'll level up and also get the entire bonus collection with 4 more role-playing games worth an additional $90, including Hardwired Island from Weird Age Games, an alternate retro future cyberpunk about fighting the man in low Earth orbit. Nothing like fighting the man in low Earth orbit. There's Defiant, the role-playing game from Game Machinery. English, Jeff, English. Powerful supernatural aristocrats defend their holdings against attack, intrigue, and ancient gods. Arc Doom from Momatoes, this year's Diana Jones Emerging Designer Award winner. say that 5 times fast, presents a tense and tightly focused struggle to stop apocalypse ticking ever closer on a real world doomsday clock. And there's also Viking Death Squad from Runehammer Games. Whereas Wanderhome is a peaceful game of friendly animal companions, Viking Death Squad isn't. These savings run through December 12th, and 10% of your payment after gateway fees will be donated to this Cornucopia 2022 offers designated charity, the aforementioned Diana Jones Award Emerging Designer Program. Zoinks! So I have to say, just taking a look at any of the 3 of the games in the starter collection for $17.95, just one of those in PDF runs $25. Just one. And I believe that's the lowest priced PDF. So you get all 3. Now, I will point out this past year's Diana Jones Emerging Designer Award winner with Arc Doom is supposed to be very, very good. In fact, I see, never fails. I hesitate and I'm lost. There was a special bundle being offered on Exalted Funeral, and I almost picked it up for Cyber Monday. Well, I should say, I think it popped up on Black Friday. And I thought, well, I'll just grab it on Cyber Monday. Ha, ha, ha. It was gone. Gone, all gone. No turkey sandwiches, no turkey soup, gone, all gone. So yeah, so I missed out. But like I said, Arc Doom is supposed to be really good. And then we're already discussing role-playing games that are pretty wild, that are very, very good, well received. That is one hell of a deal for the asking price if you go all in of $35.83. The price of 1.5 of these PDFs, really. All right. Onward and upward, arriving in print next February is Wan Shi Tong's Adventure Guide for Avatar Legends, the role-playing game. Here's what Magpie Games has to say. Wan Shi Tong's Adventure Guide, and I apologize, I do not watch Avatar. Well, the film Avatar, yes, but the last Airbender sort of Avatar, I have never seen. I know, a lot of people out there is like, you should check it out, Jeff. It's pretty good. I know, one day. Anyway, Wan Shi Tong's Adventure Guide expands the play material found in Avatar Legends, the role-playing game, with new legendary NPCs from every era, new techniques for each of these 6 trainings, and new character archetypes packed with unique moves and character arcs. In addition, Wan Shi Tong invites you to explore the Avatar verse in new and exciting adventures from every era. You might rescue a mentor from the clutches of evil villains, help negotiate peace at a prestigious summit, aid a Fire Nation defector as they flee the Fire Lord Ozai's wrath, or even recover long-lost air nomad artifacts. There's expanded material for exploring Wan Shi Tong's infamous Spirit Library, 4 new character playbooks, archetypes that help you play compelling protagonists, 5 exciting adventures set in the eras of, get ready, I'll be mispronouncing these, Kyoshi, Roku, the 100-Year War, Aang, and Korra. Yeah, I'm sure I missed at least one of those. There are 14 NPC legends, including adored characters such as Toph, Varric, and Azula, each able to teach special techniques. This 304-page hardcover is going to carry an MSRP of $39.99 when it arrives in February. Right now, you can go and pre-order this at the Magpie Games website. But I should also mention, you can grab the PDF right now over at DriveThruRPG for $19.99. So I should also point out that the Avatar role playing game is also out in PDF as well. So, but I had already shared a news piece about the core book previously. I thought, let's share a look at the adventure guide. So, I guess one of the real big selling points, and of course, not really knowing the show, uh, and I know there are a lot of different series. So, yes, I get that. But I think one of the big selling points of this role playing game is the various different eras. So you can role play in your own favorite series of The Last Airbender or Legend of the Last Airbender or Legend of Korra. Isn't that another one? I don't know. I don't know. Yes, I'm a little off on my anime. All my all my favorite animes are from long ago. Not Macross long ago, but we're talking about, like Cowboy Bebop long ago. Anyway, very cool, very nice. And there is some discussion about Powered by the Apocalypse. Yes, this is a Powered by the Apocalypse game. Many, I don't know if all of them, but many of Magpie Games' releases are powered by the Apocalypse. I don't know if the Root role playing game, the role playing game that's based on the board game world, I don't know if that is powered by the Apocalypse, but I know a lot of Magpie Games are PBTA, so which is fine. I find it a pretty interesting system. We've talked about this before. That in my okay, so Kevin points out yes, Root is powered by the Apocalypse. Thank you, Kevin. So Strike Kismet says, for all your hot rattling up there, you're excused for not being an anime expert. No, I am far from being an anime expert. That is for sure. I do enjoy anime. I will point that out. But yeah, my taste is different. Like One Piece, I got to be honest, I've never watched it. Just doesn't look like it would be my bag of tricks. I'm more of a, like Planet ES or Planetes, however that was pronounced. Um, what was it? Witch Hunter Robin, I thought was decent. Lane, I thought was good. Like I said, it's been a long time since I watched much anime. All right, my final news piece. A new source book has arrived for the OSR influenced Worlds Without Number. Here's the skinny on the Atlas of the Latter Earth from Sine Nomine Publishing. First glimpsed in the pages of the Worlds Without Number role playing game, an unfathomably far future world of decadent sorcery and daring blades is now revealed in the Atlas of the Latter Earth. More than 200 pages of fact and surmise are packed into this gazetteer, a full setting guide trimmed with additional game content for Worlds Without Number, and a helping of the system neutral GM tools that so many love, which are a big selling point for many of Kevin Crawford's role playing games. I know a lot of people out there pick up his role playing games just for like the random generators and things like that, so they can crib those. I almost said steal. They can crib those and use those in their own games with other game systems. While the book can be used whole as a pre made campaign setting, it's also designed to be stripped down into individual countries and regions that can be looted for your own home game, like I was just saying. William Hellhis Ice is with us, saying that they're going to gladly pay us Tuesday for a hamburger today. So that means William owes us for hamburgers now. Within these pages, you'll find the grim history of the present epoch of the latter Earth's Western Hemisphere, from the dim chaos of the First Age to the trials of the current day. More than 36 major lands and nations of the latter Earth, all built for playability and usefulness, to a busy GM. New classes for Worlds Without Number, including the compelling Bard, Sinister Accursed, or you could say Accursed. I just like to say Accursed, Fearsome Mage Slayer, and the Wise. Not me. Found in lands of lesser magic. There's a bestiary containing scores of terrible foes and monstrous blighted for your heroes to face and foil. New optional rules for low and no magic campaigns, grave wounds, modified spellcasting, and primitive firearms suitable for early modern settings. There's also additional foci to grant new powers and arts to budding heroes. There are system neutral character tags for molding NPC motivations and backstories, the better to fuel their role in your newly minted adventures. There's also seagoing rules for naval travel, sea combat, and shipbuilding, and map files for the 26 maps included in the book for you to edit or modify for your own personal use. And of course, EPUB and Mobi files are included with all PDFs for easier phone and tablet reading. No, I don't have a problem reading PDFs on my iPad. On my phone, I don't think I'd go there. I don't care what format it's in. So dare the unknown, bold reader, or I guess in this case, listener. The secrets of the savage future lie within this tome, awaiting a hand daring enough to wield them. Pillage its lore for your own game and make yourself the master of an age yet to come. The 223-page hardcover with PDF is available for $59.99 at DriveThruRPG, or you can grab just the PDF alone for $19.99. So I should mention the reason why I'm sharing the DriveThruRPG web address is because the Sine Nomine website address is so long. It's like, hey, Kevin Crawford, maybe you should look into that. Because I can tell you right now, that is having a negative effect on sales. I don't know. I'm not saying it's a Square soft website, but I don't know what gets into, some of these companies' heads out there. Or it's like squaresoft.mycompanyname.com. It's like, really? Buy a damn domain name. Like, come on. Nobody needs to know what you're like. You'll see like WordPress sites, right? Or it's like WordPress.mybusiness.com. And sort of like, just buy a damn domain name for a few bucks. Because one aspect is right away, somebody knows exactly how your website is put together. And it's so much easier for dedicated hackers to actually break in on these sites. And I don't care what these web providers tell you. I worked for GoDaddy. GoDaddy websites got hacked all the time. All right, but this looks very interesting, and that's why I'm sharing the DriveThruRPG web address, because that's how you would get the hardcover anyway. All right, moving right along. That is it for tonight's news. Of course, I was just talking about DriveThruRPG. So if you are going to go visit any of the one bookshelf websites, be it DriveThruRPG, DM's Guild. I don't know why I said Dungeon Master's Vault last night. Dungeon Master's Guild, Storyteller Vault, Wargame Vault, what have you. Please stop by thegaminggang.com. First, click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. And let's say, as an example, you were going to, say, Dungeon Masters Guild, but you only see a DriveThruRPG banner, you can click on that over at thegaminggang.com. And when you get to DriveThruRPG, look to the lower left. It'll show all the various different one bookshelf sites. You click on Dungeon Masters Guild there. It'll take you there, and it will still hold on to our affiliate code. Big thumbs up. Of course, if you like this video, hopefully you're giving that a big thumbs up. But if you like this video, if you dig the channel, if you find thegaminggang.com to be a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, you can always swing on over to paypal.me/gaminggang and making a small donation. And there are quite a few people out there who use the banner ad and or swing on over to paypal.me. Thank you very kindly, everybody. So Flaming Heron says, give that like button a push, everyone, if you can. Would mean the world. 245 Trioxin asks, is Kevin related to Jeremy Crawford? I don't think so. Anyway, Flaming Heron says, Squaresoft, really? I don't know. I don't remember what it said, but it was sort of like store.squaresoft.com/this/something else. So I was like, really? And that's just get to the homepage. And I get it. I understand. Kevin Crawford's not, I don't know. I don't know the man, but I kind of get the impression that he doesn't, excuse my French here. I don't think he really gives a shit about like technology and that, because I think the Twitter account hasn't had a tweet since 2014. So I don't think he really cares about that. I think he cares about creating, gaming content. And I gotta be honest, I have never had an opportunity to take a look at Stars Without Number or Worlds Without Number. And yes, I get it. I think there are free versions out there. And I know we've got a review from Sammy from, I want to say it was Worlds Without Number, and gave it a big thumbs up. Kevin points out it's a Shopify storefront. That was it. Same difference. Squarespace, Spotify. Shouldn't say Spotify. Shopify. All righty. So we are going to dive on into the One Ring Ruins of the Lost Realm in just a moment. But I did mention we were talking about my review of Shake That City. And it's, I did a Kickstarter preview. I actually gave it a review score, which I never do with Kickstarter previews, because 95% of the time, what I see is not going to be the finished product that gets in front of a backer or consumer, what have you. But this time that was different. So, I mean, the game is effectively finished. You saw me do an unboxing. So this wasn't some like beta prototype that I'll get from time to time to do, Kickstarter previews, which I don't do a lot anyway. And that I've really backed off of the Kickstarter videos for a multitude of reasons. So anyway, so I do the video and I let the contact from AEG know, and it's like some relatively new person, or at least new to me, who's handling like Kickstarter marketing or what have you. And then there's the other he's been there for a couple of years or so. The other contact I've dealt with in the past. So anyway, so I get the game sent to me and I do the review. And if you follow the gaminggang.com, if you follow the channel here, I uploaded it on Saturday. So I would have it up long before the Kickstarter launch today. Let the new marketing person know. So anyway, so they launched the Kickstarter today, and my video is not part of it. So I was like, what was the point of sending me this game? You didn't even include my video on the page. And the response basically was, oh, well, we love your work and things like that. And we sent out, I'm pouring some more diet soda here. So the response was basically, well, we sent out 70 review copies of this, and we can't share every single video and things like that. And I get it. I get it. I understand. 70 copies for a Kickstarter, I think, especially, I mean, it's a family game. It's a $30 game. 70 review copies of it? I don't think Wizards of the Coast sends out 70 review copies of new Dungeons and Dragons books. So anyway, so this is yet another reason why I'm looking to move away from covering board games that much. It's because it is just flooded with people. Half of the videos, and there were quite a lot of videos on the Kickstarter page for Shake That City. Half of them I didn't know who they were. And then, of course, there was the usual suspects, of which, you know, they don't take any money to do Kickstarters. Then we always, I'm not going to name a name, but there's one culprit, I swear, and I don't see many of their videos, but when I do, I swear this person, every Kickstarter game has something that is the most fantastic thing they have ever seen for whatever. And it's like, come on. How much more shilly can you get? Oh, I've seen sliced bread, everybody. And I love sliced bread. But this puts sliced bread to shame. Anyway. So, so that's like I said, that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of like, you know what? I'm getting kind of tired of the whole take me for granted kind of thing. And I mean, seriously, nobody's really doing me some huge favor by, sending me a board game that, I mean, let's be honest, my audience isn't really family gamers. I mean, I know there's some out there, but, I did the Kickstarter video because it's AEG. I go way back with AEG. They were with the gaming gang. They were on board with the gaming gang from just about the start. But, now they've got these different people there who, they don't know me. So anyway. So I know, I'm sure there are people out there going, come on, Jeff, you're taking this too seriously. It's like, well, trust me, I'm not taking it that seriously. But as I said before, there are far too many people. Well, okay, maybe there aren't far too many people, but there are a shit ton of people covering board games, and you don't have too many unique voices in that group. It's all almost like hearing, an echo chamber going off with a lot of the stuff that they say, kind of recycle all the time. So Christopher Rush says, I wish I knew what Jeff was talking about right here. Sounds funny. I'm not a big board game person. All right. So let me go back now. I'm joking. I'm kidding. So there were some pretty good deals that were out there. I know some folks talking about the various different deals that were on sale. I know that, it was kind of funny that I mentioned this on last night's show. Black Friday didn't really have all that much excitement tabletop gaming wise on Amazon. And then they fixed that yesterday. They had a bunch of like buy two, get one free. So buy two games, get a third at the same price or lower free. That was a pretty good deal. Rapscallion J says, I'm not keen on board games. Sounds like a joke, but I bought Pandemic 1 month before COVID broke out. I mean, if that timing doesn't put me off, what will? Yeah, pandemic's okay. I've warmed to it a little bit. I still don't think it's a fantastic game. I don't think it's as good a game as people make it out to be, but it's all right. I'll play it. I won't be like, no, I'm not playing that. And there are some games where it's like, no, thank you. Nope, 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 nope. Yes, Settlers of Catan. I'm looking at you. All right. Anyway, so tonight I'm going to be diving on in to take a look at The One Ring, Ruins of the Lost Realm in just a moment. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
Your assignment, danger. Your mission, find the master spy. Your weapon, Secret Sam. Through Secret Sam's periscope, you see him, but he can't see you. You locate the master spy, you talk to him, and Secret Sam's hidden camera is taking his picture right now. Suddenly you're discovered. Secret Sam fires bullets from inside the case. Secret Sam has barrel extension. Special missile sends message to your partner. Mission accomplished. You hand over real photograph. Secret Sam with periscope, message missile, rifle stock, barrel extension, even shoots through this carrying case. And this real camera that works in secretly or out. Takes real photos. Secret Sam. Secret Sam.
Hi, partner. Reach.
Hi, fellas.
Roy Rogers.
See, that's a pretty tricky hat, isn't it? Partners, how would you like to surprise your pals like that? Well, you can with my new Roy Rogers Quick Shooter hat. It's by Ideal. And here's how the Quick Shooter hat works. Just press this secret button right here, and a replica of an authentic Western pistol pops out and fires. It's your secret weapon, even when they think you're unarmed. So get Ideal's new Roy Rogers Quick Shooter hat at your favorite store today, and you'll always be ready for anything. Ask for Ideal's new Roy Rogers Quick Shooter hat.
I wouldn't admit this if I wasn't alone, but I really do like Wilkins coffee.
Did you call?
This is the season of light, the season when out of winter's darkness springs the bright miracle of Christmas, warming hearts, bringing the sparkling laughter of childhood happiness to every family circle. We memorialize this happy season with the Christmas brightness of our cities, the spectacle of holiday displays that are so much a part of this happy time. That same light is reflected in the bright bulbs that glitter and glimmer on every Christmas tree across the land. But most important of all is that little glow this wondrous season lights in the faces of all our loved ones. And in that spirit, let us wish you
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas to you and
Yes. Oh, William puts out Kojak the board game. I have seen that. I've actually seen the Kojak board game. I think it was at a Gen Con auction that somebody was auctioning off a copy of. So pretty funny. And yes, those are some toy commercials. Sort of like, man, how things have changed, eh? And actually fairly recently, because even I, as a small kid in the early 70s, I still had cowboy hats and guns and G.I. Joes and guns and, tanks and guns. A lot different. Although I have to say, I don't know what Roy Rogers is talking about, but I'll tell you what, if somebody got the drop on somebody and took their gun, and that victim spun around taking their hat off, I think somebody's gonna be skinning their smoke wagon there, because it's like somebody like taking their hat off, spinning around. It's like, hell with that. Bam, 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 bam. So there's some folks out there in chat a little upset that Wonkin's sold out on the desert island. Maybe he said he liked Wilkins coffee because he was hallucinating because, he was dehydrated and hadn't eaten. I don't know. Sarah D has chimed in, by the way, talking about Wonkin's selling out. Yeah, he sold out to the man, to the Wilkins man. Sarah points out they were born in the mid 80s and their little brother had a cap gun. There you go. Yes, they were a thing when I was a small kid, too. All right. So tonight, I am going to be taking a first look at the One Ring Ruins of the Lost Realm from Free League Publishing. That's right. It is Free League Publishing Week here on the Dispatch. It's written by Gareth Hanrahan, Francesco Nepitello, Michael Duxbury, David Esbrey, Lorenzo Finelli, Sarah Giannato, and Yogo Nugura. I always mispronounce their name. With artwork provided by Antonio De Luca, Jan Pospisil, and Federica Constantini. I'm sure I messed up some names there, practically all of them. The 120-page hardcover carries an MSRP of $39.99. It is available now. You can also grab just the PDF alone over at DriveThruRPG for $19.99. Let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got the One Ring Ruins of the Lost Realm. So let's get the shrink wrap off of this here. So before we jump in, of course, I'm going to mention that the fine folks over at Free League Publishing were kind enough to provide me with this review copy. But neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. And as you know, these days, it's important that you know that. So I'm also going to stay picture in picture up here as I always do. So that means I'll be chopping off a little bit of the upper left corner of the book as we take a peek through. And we're not going to look at each and every page, but I do want to get a really good feel for what's in Ruins of the Lost Realm. Let's take a look at the back. And yes, get ready. Jeff's going to mispronounce a bunch of Tolkien stuff. Oh, and after we take a first look here, somebody had commented on a video. They just commented, I think it was today or last night, that I wanted to talk about it. It's about Cubicle 7 Entertainment and the One Ring license. So I will chat about that a little bit when we're done taking a peek at this. I think there's some misunderstanding floating around out there about Cubicle 7 and the license to Tolkien's work. In the westlands of Eriador, between the Misty Mountains and the Mountains of Lune, the hobbits found both men and elves. Indeed, a remnant still dwelt there of the Dunedain, the kings of men that came over the sea out of Westernese. But they were dwindling fast, and the lands of their north kingdom were falling far and wide into waste. Eriador, the lone lands described in the Lord of the Rings, comes alive as never before in this supplement for the One Ring, the official tabletop role-playing game based on the works of J.R.R. Tolkien. A region often described as deserted becomes a crucible for adventure, offering many hours of gameplay. Chapter 1, Fog over Eriador, offers a description of the regions that once were part of the Kingdom of Arnor, with a focus on the city of Tharbad. Like I said, I'm going to completely mess up a lot of this stuff. So we got some Tom Baker talk. Yes, he's my doctor. We've talked about that before. Chapter 2, A Gathering Storm, provides the lore master with a set of narrative elements aimed at building a possible future for the land of Eriador as a whole, including the description of many looming threats, lore master characters, and their agendas. And Chapter 3, Landmarks, adds 12 sites of interest in the style of the one presented in the core volume. These locations depict both historical sites mentioned in The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, and others that have been created specifically for the game. All right, let's dive on in. So, right off the bat, we've got a map of Tharbad. So, Gareth Hanrahan is the lead writer on this. So, an overview here. Ruins of the Lost Realms complements the setting information presented in the One Ring core rules. In particular, the material found in Chapter 9, The World, and in the appendix. So, it's just kind of giving us a breakdown of what's in the book, which we just saw. So, here's Fog over Eriador. I like the artwork here. Nice. So we get a breakdown of the city. So of course, I am going to be skipping some pages here, so keep that in mind. So it looks like we might get some info about specific NPCs. Here we go, right there. Swan Fleet. I shared this image when I did a news piece about this. I don't know what it is. There's just something about this I think is just really cool. And it's just some adventure with some otters. Like, I don't know. Yeah. So Russell Higgins points out, talking about Tom Baker, check out Golden Voyage of Sinbad. Tom Baker is the bad guy. Yes, I remember that. With some good old Ray Harryhausen stop motion animation. Christopher Rush says that image is utterly fascinating. But dunce. The dwarf halls of Harmilt. Dwarves have delved beneath the Blue Mountains since they first awoke, and their oldest halls here are almost as ancient as fabled Moria. Once they found gold, iron, and gemstones in abundance beneath these mountains, and built the cities of Nagrad and Belgrast. Since the First Age, these mountains have been both a refuge and a source of wealth for the dwarves. In a changing world beset by many sorrows and dangers, it was a source of great comfort to the dwarves that one thing could always be relied on. Of course, it must be in ruin now. So here we've got the Gathering Storm. So this is a chapter which I believe is sharing some adversaries that the lore master can use against the players in their adventures. So we got the Black Numenorians. We've got our stat blocks here. The White Hand of Saruman. And agents of Saruman. Or Saruman. Finland Raiders. I had to chuckle. My mom is a huge fan of Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. And here we've got, hold on a second, our bookmark. Yeah. And it must have been like the third or fourth time she watched the series, because for Christmas, I actually had bought the trilogy for her. And it took her, I think, like the third or fourth viewing to realize, oh, wait a second. There's men actually fighting against, the allied races and stuff like that. It's like, yeah. It's like, yes. Like, you didn't realize that, with the what were they called? They're elephants, but what did they call them? Oliphants or something like that? Yes, Timothy Oliphants. Repscallion Jay says, I hate it that there's no love for lower Earth or upper Earth. Yep, it's just Middle Earth. So we got schemes and trouble. Like a tower here. The Tree of Sorrow. Isn't that where they go and nail Conan in the movie? Or is that, no, wait a second. It's the Tree of Woe? Is that it? Take him to the Tree of Woe. I have voiceover for Star Wars movies to record. So yes, it was the Tree of Woe. Thank you, Christopher and MC. Here we go, the Tree of Sorrow. A fate worse than death. It's kind of interesting. One thing you have to point out, and I know this has been a complaint I've been hearing from people regarding recent releases from Free League Publishing, is that there's not enough content. There's too much art taking up space in the books. And what text there is, it's just, you know, a bigger font and things like that. Well, gotta be honest. Looks like there's a good amount of content here. Of course, you know, you've got your maps and things like that. So one thing I do like too is that, and we're seeing this with quite a few role-playing game companies, they're giving you more of a 3D look to the maps, as opposed to just, you know, the old traditional top-down graph paper maps. So we've got some allies and adversaries. Gandalf the Grey. There we go. MC is quoting James Earl Jones and Conan the Barbarian. Yes, because he's Conan's real father. There we go. There's Weathertop. Is one of the locations, one of the location section of the book. The Hill of the Sleeper. Mount Graham. Oh, that's cool. Like a face. And the spike gate are its teeth. And then into the belly of the beast. Fort Arliss. And it looks like each of these locations has background discussion of the location. So here, this is kind of a region. So it's a like regional spots there. And then each has schemes and trouble. So it provides a few adventure hooks. And then it looks like we get kind of an important NPC tossed in with it as well. So we have some optional counsels and skill endeavors in the appendix, and that should be it. We get, hey, look, it's not attached to the book. Sweet. Okay, so first off, I want to mention that the paper stock is very nice for the map here. Of course, this was the map that we saw when we first. Oh no, it's not dual-sided. I thought it was going to be two sides because there's another map here, right there. I thought that was going to be on the back, but I guess not. So Christopher says this looks like a pretty solid release. Huzzah! All right. So that is the One Ring Ruins of the Lost Realm for the One Ring second edition from my friends over at Free League Publishing. This is out now. It does carry an MSRP of $39.99. Or you can grab just the PDF alone over at DriveThruRPG for $19.99. I believe you will see Sammy do a review of this because we did have another reviewer who was tackling some of the One Ring releases, but they're not reviewing anything for us at the moment. So I am probably going to have Sammy do the review because off the top of my head, I seem to recall I'm 95% positive that she reviewed the core book, not the starter set, but the core book of the One Ring. So she will have a review of this in the near future. All right, let's swing on over to the other camera. Once again, there you have the One Ring, Ruins of the Lost Realm, and just nice production quality all around, which is what we pretty much have come to expect from Free League Publishing. And no glossy paper, everybody. I know that bugs some people. And as I pointed out last night, there's a lot of light in here that's kind of like trying to catch. Of course, I got the overhead camera, right? So, there's probably a little more glare than you would normally have in a normal situation. So tomorrow we are going to take a look at Vossen, Mythic Britain and Ireland, also from Free League Publishing because it is Free League Publishing Week. So Rapscallion J points out they were supposed to start reviewing some Dungeon Crawl classics, but they had an emergency house move. Whenever if you want to jump on board, that's fine. I'm not giving anybody a hard time. Reviewing stuff is not easy. It is not. Some people think, oh yeah, anybody could do this. No, it's not as easy as you think. So anyway, especially like written reviews. I don't mind writing out reviews in that, but I'm one of these people where I'm always sitting there like, no, yeah, let's phrase it this way. I overthink things, which I wish there were more people out there who were journalists who would do that because nothing drives me crazier than reading, say, something from, I don't know, New York Times website or Washington Post or CNN or what have you. And it's misspelled words, bad grammar. It's like, Jesus. Really? And I know, oh my gosh, there's another big ass spider. I wonder if it's the same one we saw last night. He's on the other side of the camera here this time, so you won't see him passing on by. See you, buddy. All right. So anyway, since we wrapped that first look up relatively quickly, so I did want to mention that somebody commented. I'm going to have to paraphrase because I don't remember the exact words, but they had commented about how they used to really like Cubicle 7 Entertainment, but after they pulled what they did with the One Ring, this person said they would never buy anything from Cubicle 7 Entertainment again. So I got to be honest, I'm not sure exactly what their grief was. I think I know, but I'm not positive. And I did actually reply to the comment asking, hey, do you want to, kind of, let me know what's going on here? Anyway, Rapscallion Jay says, I'm Jason Bradley. I know you are. You mentioned that you were using a different handle last night when you popped in. So I was like, oh, this is somebody new. And you said, no, it's Jason. I've been here before. All right, Christopher Rush is rocking out. So, yes. And Christopher also pointed out journalism is almost dead. It's all just bloggers with jobs. Yeah, just like, I like Rotten Tomatoes. But I mean, come on, I don't put equal weight with somebody who is a reviewer for the LA Times and somebody who's like Joe Blow movie review.net. So it's like, what the? Joshua Edwards is with us. Howdy, Joshua. You may have slipped in here a lot earlier. I'm just noticing. Sorry about that. Anyway, so as far as I know, and once again, I don't want to get too crazy about the inside baseball stuff. And there's a lot of stuff I don't personally know as a fact. There are a couple of things that I do know that I can't tell you because I was told in confidence. But I think the issue that this person had was because Cubicle 7 Entertainment was going to release the One Ring second edition. They had taken pre-orders for it because it was effectively done. It was done enough that they were on the verge of putting it up on DriveThruRPG, which, if you're familiar with Cubicle 7 Entertainment, you know over the past couple of years, that's sort of what they do. So as weird as this sounds, and I know some people get upset by this, but in my opinion, I don't think it's such a bad idea. So they'll put something up on DriveThruRPG, and the gamers out there can catch things that their editing team and proofreading may have missed. Because a lot of people don't realize this, but when you work on something so much, just continually for a long time, you got to step away and have somebody else look at it because you don't see the cracks in the foundation that somebody else is going to notice. So that's what Cubicle 7 Entertainment tends to do. And I know there are people out there that are like, I don't like being like their play tester or whatever, but it's a PDF. So they update the PDFs, I should say, a lot. So it's not like, well, you bought a lemon as opposed to buying a printed book that's just loaded with errors. And then you're like, oh, well, guess I'm stuck with this. So Joshua Edwards points out advanced copies like Onyx Path Publishing does. Yeah. Well, like I said, some people don't like it. And to me, I'm like, that doesn't matter. It's just a PDF. So anyway, so that's how close they were with the second edition of the One Ring. It was not off to the printer yet. The files weren't going off to the printer just yet, but it was just about to go on sale on DriveThruRPG, and Cubicle 7 Entertainment announced that there would be no second edition of the One Ring through them. So Kevin points out, wait, didn't Cubicle 7 just lose the license unless there was something they could have done to keep it and didn't do it? I don't see what the beef could be. All right, so the Tolkien estate does not own Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, Silmarillion, any of that. They haven't owned it, I don't know, 30 years, maybe even more than that. So there is a holding company that owns, at least they own the Tolkien rights for games, things like that. Just like, who was it? New Line Cinema did the movies, but who owns New Line? Because I think they actually are the company that owns like television and movie rights. So Omenal points out, good to see you, Omenal. Cubicle 7 lost the Lone Wolf RPG also. Well, they lost it because Joe Devers passed away. That's why that license was gone. They had a deal with Joe Devers. They didn't have a deal with Joe Devers' family, who, let's be honest, some of these people just want, they want money. They want money. So my understanding is that Cubicle 7 actually walked away from the Tolkien license, that they were going to renew it, and they decided they were not going to. It was their decision to not renew the license. And that's why, let me take a look at the back of the book here. Sophisticated Games is the partner who works with the rights holder for the Tolkien works. So Cubicle 7 walked away from it. And once again, I don't know for a fact. This is conjecture. This is just me spitballing here. I think they walked away because it was to renew the license. They wanted more money. And the One Ring really didn't sell that well for Cubicle 7 Entertainment. What did sell better was Adventures in Middle Earth. Actually, Adventures in Middle Earth far outsold the One Ring. But you figure Cubicle 7 was getting a chance to kind of double dip on one license with two product lines, which, if you were familiar with the One Ring first edition as well as Adventures in Middle Earth, you know you would have a supplement come out for the One Ring, and then about 6 months or so, maybe a little more than that, would pass, and you would get that same supplement with a different title, but essentially that same supplement ported over to 5e for Adventures in Middle Earth. I mean, personally, I don't have a beef with it because nobody was buying both. It wasn't like somebody was like, oh my gosh, I've been tricked into purchasing this extra book. No, it was pretty obvious what was going on. I don't think the sales were strong enough for the lineup of Tolkien role-playing products coming out from Cubicle 7 Entertainment, that they felt that it warranted the increase in royalties or what have you that they were going to have to pay to keep the license. And that is why I think Cubicle 7 Entertainment decided to say, no, you know what? They probably thought to themselves, you know what? We're doing pretty well with the Games Workshop, partnership, that licensing deal. And I don't know how well Whiffrip sells, but I think it does pretty well for Cubicle 7 Entertainment. Plus, they've got other stuff as well. So I think, once again, I don't know because I'm a reviewer. I get review copies of stuff. I think what happened with Cubicle 7 Entertainment is I think with the pre-orders, what they ended up doing after they said, you know what, we're not actually going to produce this, is they tried to offer 125% store credits as opposed to refunds. I don't know that for a fact. I had heard it from somebody, but once again, I don't know. I don't know because I didn't have an order in. And it wasn't something that a bunch of people were like, hey, Jeff, have you heard about this? So I don't know. But I think that's what the person is talking about when they say, well, what Cubicle 7 pulled with the One Ring. And then again, maybe they're sitting there just like, oh, they tricked us into thinking that, because, some of these gamers, some of these commenters, but I think that might be it. I don't know. But a lot of people are under the misconception that the license holder, and I forget it's the title of the company, the license holder pulled the license from Cubicle 7. That wasn't the case. That was not the case. But as I can tell you, that game was done. They were sharing some fantastic preview artwork from it. It was looking really good. So, what can I tell you? I love the folks over at Cubicle 7. They've been nothing but nice to me. Always get review copies. They've had, they've been growing so much. They've had some issues with the marketing department and that. We're trying to iron those things out so I can make sure to get the latest Cubicle 7 news to you. Because a lot of times, as of late, I actually stumble across it on DriveThruRPG that there's some new Cubicle 7 release. I'm like, really? What? And you can usually tell that's the case when I do a news piece and there's only the image of the book. Because I don't have anything to pull images from. Normally, I'll get like the PDF right when it comes out. Cubicle 7 will, ding me and say, hey, you've got these free PDFs. So, let me hear on says tons of WIFRP releases. I like Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. I do. I like that it's got, it's got a very unique setting and it's got a kind of a bit of a sense of humor to it. So I dig that. All right. So that is another damn spider. Tell you, Kingdom of the Spiders. Hey, at least we got through almost the entire show before one showed up. Or what were you, like 5 minutes into last night's show? And I'm like, the hell is that? How far away is that thing? That thing looks pretty big, and that's pretty far away from me. All what was running through my head as I'm trying to like read a news piece or something. Omanal points out a lot of WIFRP pre-orders for physical books as well. I do know Imperial Zoo is going to be sent for us to take a peek at. And also the weird thing is, let me take a look. Gosh, there's so many games. Did I take a look at the Doctor Who starter set? Did I? No, I did not. The reason why I keep thinking I looked at the starter set is because of the dice, the custom dice. And I keep thinking, yeah, those custom dice came with the starter set, right? They didn't. So Rapscalia J says, time to worry about the spiders is when they reorganize my shelves. Well, I sort of have a little holiday cheer in the background. Hopefully tonight's show is a little better exposed. And damn it, another one. This one's just a little bitty one. Hey, at least they're not upstairs. Right? I don't mind so much. Yeah, oh, there goes one. There goes. Be a little different if like a pretty big spider was like crawling on me. Get off me! Get off me! Anyway, the Doctor Who starter set and Imperial Zoo for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition will be sent to me. I just got a bunch of PDFs as well from Cubicle 7. As I mentioned, we're trying to, make sure we just hit some bumps because, they're focusing on so many different things right now. And I think they've got one person who's handling like all the marketing and all that other stuff, the ad copy and all that. So Joshua says the amount of exposure is perfect. Yeah, because last night, the new white sign behind me not thinking that actually changed up the exposure pretty high. So it looked a little washed out. It also was out of focus because you may not realize this, but the amount of light that you have will actually change a bit of the focus. So I know it sounds kind of strange, right? But yep. So anyway, yeah, because I have such a beautiful face. the face made for radio. All right. Anyway, that is it for tonight's show. As I mentioned, on tomorrow's show, we'll be taking a look at the Vossen. I'm close on the pronunciation. I'll have to double check it again, but I'm pretty sure it's Vossen. Not like Vason. So we're going to be taking a look at Mythic Britain and Ireland on tomorrow's stream. So, of course, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It will not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. It'll also let you know when I upload standalone videos, such as my first look at Herman Luttman's The Hill of Death from Tiny Battle Publishing. It is an American Civil War game. It is the Battle of Champions Hill, if I remember correctly. So that is going to be a standalone video. It is not going to be a live stream. So stay tuned for that. Got a lot of reviews on the horizon. I've got some new series ideas that I've been kind of kicking around a little bit. In fact, it was kind of funny. Just had somebody leave me a comment the other day asking if I've ever considered doing this. And I was like, actually, I have very recently. So talked about it a little bit on yesterday's show. I'm not going to rehash it again. All right. Anyway, if you were watching live, thank you very, very much. Of course, if you were watching live and took part in chat, well, hey, that's bonus experience points for you right there. Because not only do you get to keep me company, you keep each other company as well. Because I can't be watching chat all the time. I don't get a chance to reply to every comment. I apologize if I sometimes appear to be ignoring people. Just, I don't catch the thing go by in chat. Anyway, I know a lot of you out there don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. I really do appreciate you taking the time out to watch any of the videos here on the Gaming Gang channel. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. I will be back tomorrow. Everybody enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it happens to be in your neck of the woods. And of course, I hope each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.
Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, that's okay. You don't have to leave just yet. In fact, why don't you subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel right here, or take a peek at the latest live stream, or even find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks again for watching.